still trying. Who knows what ReVerse will actually end up like when it eventually does release, but for now we can only guess. The whole experience is 100% trial and error for Capcom, and I honestly hope it works out for them. They've been putting a lot of effort into these projects, and I'd like to see at least one of them work out.
Well, it's finally here, Resident Evil ReVerse. A little over a year since its announcement, and a little bit less over a year since the first beta. And after all this time, it's finally ready. We can finally play this absolute masterpiece from Capcom. So what does it have in store for us? 2 maps, 6 characters, and 5 creatures. A year and a half of waiting for 2 maps, 6 characters, and 5 creatures. What a disappointment. But hey, they added a battle pass, so that's cool. Jokes aside, this game has been in the oven for so long and it still came out undercooked. I said in my Resident Evil Village video how I hoped the game would come out well, and well, now that it's out and I've given it a fair try, I can say that really it could do well. Like, it could do well, but it's pretty much dead on arrival. Like always, they stapled the launch to a much more hyped up release, this being the Resident Evil Village DLC. I personally didn't know that ReVerse was even out until the day after it launched. I wasn't keeping up with the game and just decided to check in on it while I was installing something else on Steam. This was mostly because I get my Resident Evil news from Twitter, and the Resident Evil Twitter account posted nothing about ReVerse leading up to the launch. They didn't really even try to tell people it was out, and that can be seen in the player count since the game's come out. Steady decline with a period of time where only a couple people actually knew it came out. This release has been an absolute disgrace and has been, dare I say, worse than Resident Evil Resistance. The game itself is a different story, so before I get into this, I just want to say I'm going to attempt to review this in a somewhat unbiased manner. Mostly because I'm going to be reviewing ReVerse by its individual pieces. Those pieces being put into 2 groups, those being the good and the bad. Starting with the good, the game is a nice refresher as a multiplayer game that has come out in the last 5 years. It is fast-paced in a good way and tries to shake up the power or skill balance by making it so you get more points by staying in your human form. Getting those virus capsules shouldn't be your main priority in human mode. Getting kills against everyone else is. I've somewhat missed all-out warfare and free-for-all game modes in FPS games lately, and ReVerse fills that void, although it could do better at times. The creatures, even if the goal isn't to play as them as often, are awesome to play as. They give the best variety of play that ReVerse has to offer. Even with just 5 creatures, there's a lot to do with them. There are 2 lower power creatures and 3 higher power ones. The lower ones being the Fat Mold creature from Resident Evil 7 and the Hunter Y from Resident Evil 3 Remake. For the higher tier creatures, we have Jack Baker, Nemesis, and Mr. X, although the game calls Mr. X the Super Tyrant, but everyone with a brain and who's played Resident Evil 2 Remake knows that it's just Mr. X. Each are fun to play as, and have their own things going for them. I don't really have much to say about them, and I was going to go over their individual kits and how I feel about them, but I don't feel like that is necessary for this video. The last thing I can really say is good about ReVerse is the variety on the customization. Using RP, or the in-game currency, you can buy coins at varying tiers that do things for you. These are not one-time uses either. For 1500 RP, you can get some more health, better stamina recovery, or more ammo from pickups. These are game changers, and add a little bit of help to players who are struggling to keep up with the people who have been playing since launch. And with that, the good is done. And I know that's not much, but there's a reason for that. For now, on to the bad. Oh boy, the bad. There is a lot of bad about this game. I'm gonna do my best to briefly cover each thing that I find bad about ReVerse and attempt to move quickly here. To start, I'm going to draw back on that last point I made. the one about using RP to get ability coins. Yeah, there's something about being able to buy extra health that seems very imbalanced. Most players who are coming in likely have no idea that you can do that, and are instantly playing at a disadvantage. One coin lets you deal extra headshot damage, and another lets your character's specific weapons do more damage themselves. This damage isn't small either. It can be the difference between life and death in a 1v1 firefight. Being able to simply pay to be overpowered is crazy. I found myself going from bottom 3 and 3rd place in matches to placing 1st or 2nd each game after buying all the damage coins. The only redeeming thing I can say about it is that it doesn't require you to use real money, or at least not all the time. Moving on, we've got the Battle Pass and the Premium Pass. The Battle Pass is very hollow, and even if you have the Premium tier, it doesn't really give you anything. It's quick to grind, but also incredibly boring to do so. It gives you an option to play more and do challenges, but it doesn't do much else. And if you're not there to really do the Battle Pass, then you don't really have anything to do. The Premium Pass allows you to buy more skins and coins, but that's really it. From what I can see, the coins aren't super great, and the free tier ones will do everything you need just fine, and there's not really much else to say there. The gameplay itself is very fast-paced, and while I said that was a good thing, this does mean that you are in and out of matches every 5 minutes or so. And as you can probably imagine, this gets stale very, very quickly. I like this game and I have fun with it, but I can only stomach it in spurts, and getting footage for this video alone was a trial of its own for me to do. Anyone who has played this game knows how it feels. The lack of stuff to do in the game other than the Battle Pass challenges and the standard gameplay makes the substance our next bad thing in ReVerse. The game lacks substance, and that is very clear. Like I said earlier, the game has 2 maps, 6 characters, and 5 creatures. For a year and a half of waiting, this is not a lot at all. And even there, the Baker House map seems to be a server favorite. You will find yourself on this map far more often than not. I don't mind the lack of playable characters or creatures, but the maps? There are way too few of these in the game at the moment. Capcom has said they plan on adding more maps and characters, but at this point I don't really have high hopes for that. They'll definitely add more stuff, but there certainly won't be anyone there to enjoy it. Balancing is the final thing I will mention about this game's bad side. The balancing is absolutely atrocious. Ignoring the coin thing I've mentioned already, the game has horribly imbalanced powers. Some moves can be countered with one dodge, others can't be countered at all. If you get staggered as any human or creature, you can be locked in that stun until you die, and this dampens the experience immensely. And I just want to say here real quick that while I was getting footage for this video, I really wanted to find a really good example of being stun locked and dying because of it. And I got a couple of good ones, but there was this one, the match that I played right after I stopped recording. Like I had stopped recording maybe like 2 minutes prior to this. That match I was playing as Nemesis, and I got like, a little fist fight with a super tyrant or Mr. X, and he stun locked me for the entire duration of my health bar. Like I couldn't move the entire time. Like I couldn't hit, I couldn't escape, I couldn't do anything. I really wish I had that recorded to show you guys because I was tilted. I was beyond mad. The stunning thing happens mostly as a human and is the main reason you end up dying, other than from people you can't see shooting you with the damage coins equipped. There are human abilities that are so unbelievably overpowered that it isn't even funny. Leon has an ability that lets you use unlimited ammo akimbo pistols while locked into any part of someone's body, usually the head. Ada has a jump bomb that can be used as an extra dodge. Chris can make himself invulnerable to damage for a period of time, literally making it so you cannot kill him for at least 10 seconds. Claire can heal herself, enough said there. Hunk can cloak himself and do a near instant kill stab on humans. And to top it all off, Jill has a 3-hit combo flaming knife that usually instant kills any human at any health level. That is all 6 humans with abilities that outmatch all the others. The whole thing is just a mess. With all of that said, I do like this game, and I do still want it to succeed. I know it won't, but it's nice to have faith that it might. I had fun for the most part playing this game, and there's a lot more good I could have touched on, but those bits all fit into the 3 that I already mentioned, so I'll leave it there for now. The game is inherently filled with more bad things than good, and that cannot be ignored. It needs a lot of work done on it before it's ready to really be played by the public, and it looks like that work will only partially be done. It's sad that this is what we get after waiting so long, and even more sad that it's asking us for more money. I'm very glad that I got it as a package deal with Village, and there is no way that I would have bought this otherwise. I feel bad for the suckers who bought the premium pass and have spent real money on the game after its launch. I can only hope their wallets will find prosperity and peace one day.